Greetings, loved ones. Today we are going to talk about how a narcissistic abuser will never change and how no amount of love, counseling, or batterer intervention will keep you safe. Help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others because you never know, by doing so you could save a life. If you are in a relationship with a narcissistic abuser, hoping for things to change, don't hold your breath. Narcissists hold themselves in such high regard that everyone else, including their partner, is beneath them. They view themselves as being perfect, so there's absolutely no reason for them to ever change. Upon first meeting them, narcissists will come off as intelligent, important, and attractive. Why? Because they tell you they are. But as you get to know him further, the bloom starts to come off the rose, says Laurie Endicott Thomas, author of Don't Feed the Narcissist. From your perspective, you're getting to know the real him. From his perspective, you're stepping out of line. That's when he goes from trying to bamboozle you to bullying you. So how do you know if an abuser is a narcissist? This is really interesting. Shannon Thomas, a licensed social worker and author of Healing from Hidden Abuse, A Journey Through the Stages of Recovery from Psychological Abuse, says, you can tell if you're in a relationship with a narcissist if they never admit fault or take responsibility for anything. Narcissistic abusers twist things around through gaslighting, through triangulation, through projection, and it's always somebody else's fault, she says. A lot of times the narcissist will get very angry and walk out of counseling sessions because they never want to authentically talk about what their part in causing the conflict in the relationship was. They're going to deflect everything over and over and over again. Another sign, she says, is being cool, calm, and collected, sometimes even amused when their partner is clearly distraught. Narcissistic abusers get entertainment out of the chaos they create, and that's very different than just an average person who has some things they need to work on in life, Shannon says. She says they know the game that they're taking the victim on. So I want you to understand that domestic violence is not a mental illness. We touched on this briefly yesterday when we talked about PTSD. So make no mistake about it. Being diagnosed either by a psychiatrist or a self-diagnosis with narcissistic personality disorder does not excuse abuse. It just means that an abuser has two problems: mental illness and choosing to control and abuse their partner. She says, we learned decades ago that with rare exceptions, domestic violence is not caused by mental illness. Domestic violence is caused by sexism, entitlement, a history of allowing husbands to abuse their wives, and continued lax enforcement. Barry Goldstein, a nationally recognized domestic violence author, speaker, and advocate, and an expert advisor for DomesticShelters.org, says abusers who are mentally ill have less inhibitions, and so their abuse is often more severe. This is why the myth of domestic violence being caused by mental illness started, as these attacks tend to be more memorable. With narcissism, abuse is a choice, says Shannon Thomas, though advocates, by and large, say all abuse is a choice. And though Thomas says some abusers could see change with a batterer intervention program, advocates often warn about these programs rarely bringing about fundamental differences for any abuser, especially narcissists. She says, we've looked at the research in narcissists having a very, very low level of lasting behavioral changes. So what do you do if you're trapped in a relationship with a narcissist? If you think you might be in a relationship with a narcissist abuser, realize that he or she will never change. I'm going to say that again. He or she will never change. No matter how much you hope, no matter how much you pray, they will never change. If someone chooses to stay, the only way to stay safe is to be very, very clear about what they're dealing with, because narcissists have a roller coaster pattern, says Shannon. They'll have really great moments or days where they seem to be attached and loving and kind and supportive, and then very quickly we'll get that downward spiral and the twists and the turns. That roller coaster ride is never going to change, and this will go on during the entire relationship. If you decide that you don't want to deal with those ups and downs, you should create a safety plan and leave. But even if you choose to stay, Shannon suggests the survivor seek counseling from a therapist trained in narcissistic personality disorder or one who is trauma trained. With 1 in 3 women experiencing violence in the entire world, the question is not if you will encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. You are called, we are all called to be champions for those who suffer violence. Those who suffer violence need to know that those who love them and those who don't even know them will step out and reach out to them, give them the courage and the help they need to leave before it's too late. Please help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others because you never know. Just by doing so, you could save a life. Listen, if you are a victim of violence, stop and listen to me. I want you to know the truth because you've been told lie after lie after lie after lie. And the truth is you are valued, you are loved, you are intelligent, you are beautiful, and God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. I want you to know that there is a way out. It's not your fault. Abuse is not love. And if you're a victim of violence, please reach out to someone. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. Next week, we're going to start a series and talk about how you can help someone who is suffering domestic violence. Until then, God bless you.